No.
It's been no time for you, dear listener, but I was gone for a full 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got
So cool.
legitimate, like, movie style character
That is
art.
Where did you get this done?
This is by Squabosaurus.
Okay.
Is this someone you found on like
Instagram.
the Instagram? Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
And she did amazing work, and it was very affordable. And so
I mean, the fact
we
that
were
it's
talking about different characters. So I've got character art here, which I will tell you who everybody is.
Yes.
But these three main characters and him, I also got drawn by somebody else.
Yeah.
A friend from high school who does really cool, more anime style art. It looks completely different. If you know the characters, you know that they're the same character, but they're not going to look the same.
Right. And that does.
So-
That's happened because you're just going to say, like, here's my descriptions. And some people even will, like, do a little outline and be like, here you go. Can you please draw
Yeah.
this for me?
I
You know?
noticed some authors too will give very vague descriptions, and a lot of them
Yeah.
will say it's because they want you to picture whoever you want
Yeah.
said role, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
You imagine it the way you want it imagined.
Yeah.
For sure. I also brought a copy of my book.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that cover so much. It's so
I do. I love
Thank
that.
you. Glint
I'm
of
sorry if you can't
Mischief.
see this because you're missing out, but you can look it up. Right? You can
Yeah,
find it.
please look it up.
Yeah.
I hope you listen to this and then you're like, I should go get her book. It's called
Yeah.
Hope and Lies.
Yeah.
It's available everywhere.
Yep. Did you hear that? And
Did you do it? Did you do it on? Did you go through Ingram? Oh my God! Here I am butchering names.
through-
I'm a writer.
I went through. You're a writer. We're writers, not speakers. That's
Yes.
the pull there. Yes, I went through Ingram Sparks. The book is available at Barnes and Noble, and I'm doing a signing there on May 6th.
Awesome.
What Barnes and Noble?
The one in Colorado
Springs. Yeah.
Yeah. the one up on Briargate. If any of our listeners are in Colorado Springs, May 6th.
Cool.
Yeah,
So,
basic.
so how? Okay, not to get to. I won't ask for prices, but like, was it expensive?
No. Ingram Sparks charges $50 to upload a ebook and physical copy,
Okay.
and then it was an additional $50 to upload the hardcover.
Okay.
And I could have just
what does
done
it
ebook
cost
and
for them-
hardcover for $50.
What does it cost for them to send it out to the stores? To this?
So the way it works is you make the prices
Okay.
and you do a wholesale discount for stores.
Okay.
So my book is 30% off. That's the wholesale discount for bookstores to buy it.
Okay.
And then I don't get charged anything.
Right.
I have mine. That's potentially a lie. I have my book set for returns. So instead of destroying it, if a bookstore doesn't sell it, they will ship it to me. I would have to pay for those copies and the shipping fees.
Right.
But that's on purpose because I don't want my book destroyed. If they're not selling, just send them to me and I'll sell them.
Right.
So then how do you know? Okay, I don't know. I could just be stupid on this.
No, you're good.
I set one up with Amazon where they will distribute, but the person has to call and request the book. So like if enough people went into Barnes and Nobles and was like, "Hey, I want Dark Side by Stacey Marriott," then they would order it. How does that work through Ingram? Like, they just the same way? Okay.
It's print on demand. So they have to, it's not like the book is sitting in a warehouse somewhere, which is how the big five and major publishing companies do it. They print a bunch and they're stockpiled. That's not the way Ingram Sparks or Amazon does it. It's all
so they won't just put
printed.
them out on the shelves for you. You
Not
have to ask the store, or how does that work?
Not like just. I think I'm a little confused by your question.
Okay.
Barnes and Nobles around the world are not just going to be like, a new book, let's put it on the shelf.
Right.
It's definitely, you have to reach out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That being said, if I could probably reach out to a few Barnes and Nobles now and be like, hey, I just released a dystopian fiction book that works for young adult and adult. It's sold over 100 copies in the first week. And I have the second book, however far, the second book's I'm planning on releasing in August. And the third book I plan on releasing a year from now. would you like to put it on your bookshelf?
Okay, so you can
Yeah.
you can just ask them. Okay, I didn't know that because the way that Amazon presented it, or maybe it's just the way that I read it, was that they had like people had to request it. So I wonder if I just called. I mean, I need to change all of my paperback book covers because I ended up changing the cover of it anyway.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know how that worked. So
I think it depends on the printer,
yeah,
right? Amazon isn't going to print a ton to send to bookstores unless the bookstores ask for them.
right.
I know another local author who lives here had a bunch of fans calling their local Barnes and Nobles and got a few of them to stock the book. And yeah, that's part of it, is if they know people will buy it, they'll stock it. And if you are going to go like make an appearance, they'll stock
Okay.
it. But I didn't just, I wasn't like, they didn't call me.
Right.
I reached out and I was like, hello.
Well, it's good
Could
enough. But I thought that's how it worked.
That's
No,
the dream, girl. That is the
Yeah.
dream. That
Yeah.
Barnes and Noble calls you up and they're like, excuse me, could you come to a signing in New York City?
That would be awesome.
Like,
That
me?
Yeah.
Will you
I think,
fly me
you know
out?
what? Not to bring this up again because I literally mentioned this last time, but I think another obstacle I have, as I have plenty of them as an indie author, but one of
We
my
all do.
obstacles is feeling important enough.
Mm.
Right? Because like I'm always like
Yeah.
people will set up stuff and I'm like, I just don't know. I mean, you have a lot of likes and stuff, so you have a lot of followers on Kindle Villa, so you probably will have a lot of people interested. But
I
like
will.
I am so grateful for my reviewers. Like I am not putting them down. I am so thankful for them. But with like 34 reviews on Dark Side, I just feel like if I went to Barnes and Nobles and was like, "Hey, I'm doing a signing for Dark Side," like it would, it just wouldn't be that many
Well,
people.
I have less than 700 followers on Instagram.
But you have
Most
a
of
lot. But you have a lot on Vella. You
But
have like thousands.
no, I have thousands of people who have liked an episode.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Not the same
That's
thing.
still a lot.
I
That's
have
still a lot.
300 people following the stories,
Yeah.
but they're not following all the stories.
Right.
That's the total number for the combination.
Right.
So maybe two
Yeah.
people are following one and 100
Right.
people are following another.
Yeah.
And there is no way to reach out to those readers
Right. Yeah.
and
That's
be
so
like,
scary.
hey, come to my book signing.
Yeah.
I'm
I
really
feel like sometimes that's frightening. Because, like, when you have, like, pre-orders and stuff on a book, not to cut you off, but when you have pre-orders and stuff on a book, like, I had a mishap with this one that's coming out tomorrow, and it was missing a chapter. Like, a whole ass chapter was
No.
missing. So, like,
Terrifying.
I mean, I fixed it, of course,
The
before
nightmare.
the time. But it's like, if something like that were to happen, how would I tell these people that you're missing a chapter?
Well, sorry, Vella is not the same.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
way you
You could
upload
just,
it.
you could just delete it and
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's difficult.
It is.
But you
It is.
can edit it though, right? Because I did
Yes.
something like that today. I went in and kind of like mixed. I realized like this one thing was off. So one thing that I've done with Vella, because this is definitely I'm very fresh at letting people even read my stuff. I hid it for forever. It was just for me kind of a thing. And so I did do Wattpad for a while and stuff like that. But otherwise, but I felt like that was something where it was like people did it. It was before Bookstagram, like all that stuff. I literally just went out there and threw it and just had fun with it,
Right.
Let it go.
Yes, that's how I view Vella. I will say that's how I look at Vella. I mean, also a financial really important in my life, but the stories at least, that's how I look at Vella. Keep going.
Yeah. No, but that's like, so I knew, like, Stacey was actually surprised that I put, so I've had this book that I've been having her kind of like alpha read and stuff like that, and a couple other friends, and she was surprised with that. That was the one that I threw on there, but it's almost like I'm throwing it on there knowing it needs work, it needs editing, but I also want to know how people feel about the characters and how people feel about the
here's what
I'm doing my revision, like as I'm
I know that you're like, well, I think it needs more work and I think it needs more editing. And that might be true. Okay. It might be true. But from what I have read of your book, It is beautiful writing. And I think that you stand in your way with that kind of thought process. Because here's the thing.
I do.
I
will always.
read a book, and it could be 100% how I want it edited.
She's
And
calling you out right now.
100%. Yeah.
She always does.
I'm like, this is great. This is how I want it, and it's fantastic. And then I'll come back and read it a month later, and I'm like, okay, well, this could be edited a little bit more. And I
This
think
makes
that there
us-
will never be an end to how many times you could edit a book, honestly.
Yeah, it goes
Right.
back to a painting is never finished.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
just not. There's always something you can do. And if it's
Right.
like I got my author copy of Hope and Lies, and the formatting software that I used switched around about a third of the dialogue curlies.
No.
So they were facing the wrong way.
Stuff like that gives me anxiety.
right.
Yeah.
It does.
Full on
But there was
anxiety.
missing a chapter. So I had to go through and fix all of those manually.
Mhm.
But unless it's something like that, right? Unless someone goes, hey, just so you know, you've been using the wrong there the entire time.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless it's something like that, it
Yeah.
probably doesn't need the edit and the
And
edit and the edit and the edit.
And something
Well,
that
you can edit it to death too. You can
yeah,
just
oh yeah, and you could change your story entirely and wish that you wouldn't have changed certain things and be stuck
Right.
with what you have. And I noticed too that a lot of readers aren't looking for mistakes. Now they'll find one if it's big, like you said, using the wrong way the whole entire time. There was one person that kept saying round instead of around. And that was like one of the things that kind of like I was like, oh God.
You
But
thought
like
you would
even that wasn't enough to take me out of the story. Like it was still a really good story. I still really appreciated it. I really thought that she did good writing, and it was beautiful. It was a well-written story. So I feel like a lot of readers don't. I mean, of course, like I said, you have the bad reviewer, but for the most part, most readers are just there for the ride.
Unless they are writers, readers are not reading to critique.
Yeah, and sometimes like you'll think to yourself, like I was just saying this with Darkseid. I felt like AJ was a throwaway character. I really thought about getting rid of him completely several times. I was like, he's a throwaway character. I don't really like him. And you said that he was hilarious. So, I mean, I just feel like, and again, I'm not trying to make it about me. I'm just saying, like, as a writer, you might feel like you don't like something about your writing or you don't like a certain character, and then that could end up being somebody's favorite part of the
which brings us back full circle to Vela, because as you do the Facebook groups and as you continue posting your story, you'll get people who'll be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Please keep putting episodes up. Please let me know where I can get this. I had somebody read Song of the Deep and then ask me if I was going to release it as a novella book. And I was like, I guess I am now.
Right.
If there's
what is
people
this group called on Facebook?
Girl, there are a ton. Hella Vela is the #1 starting place.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
I'm serious about this now since you've informed me, because writing out to Amazon is difficult. Like, I'm not trying to make this boring, but like I wrote out to them and asked them, because I have a book called Axel coming out in August. But as I'm writing it, I'm like, this would have really been good on Vela, like to just have some serial episodes and then release
it coming out in August.
Yeah. So I was
post
like,
it.
Well, that's what I was saying. And I wrote someone, and their information was, and they probably just didn't understand the question, but they wrote me back and they were like, just so you know, you can't have a previously published book on Vela. And I'm like, okay, but this isn't previously published. So it's really nice to have you on the other side to be able to ask questions, because it's hard to find anything on Vela, I feel like.
Yeah, it is. You can specifically look up their terms and conditions.
Mm-hmm.
But if you try to look up their bonus information, it's not there. Their royalty stuff is very specific. But so to give an example, I have another series that's hopefully going to come out next year sometime called Miss Bell's Travel Guides. Very different series.
I love your name. I just want to say that. I love your title names. They are so fun and so cute.
Thank you.
And that's part of a good book, honestly. It really is.
The first book is called Lacey Goes to Tokyo, and it was published via a small press publishing company who were amazing. They were fantastic to work with. I decided it wasn't my jam, so I bought the rights back. I can't put it's been pulled, right? It's not available anywhere. I can't put it on Vella.
Right.
I can put Damon Goes to Peru, which is the second book, on Vella, and I'm going to when it's done.
Yeah.
Where was I going with that in my brain? Yeah, you can't post anything that's been previously published somewhere else, but you can absolutely post the one coming out in August.
Okay.
You just got to make sure the last
That you
episode
have it
comes
before.
out. Well, I would go like 2 months before,
Right.
just to save yourself some stress.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good idea.
Just in case.
But it's
Okay.
good to know that I can. Okay, yes.
I've
back
been
to the...
holding this,
Yes.
waiting.
Tell us.
Sorry. Your
No,
arm's like
don't
tired. You're like,
apologize.
I just was wanting to show you this.
Start wiggling and right.
Okay, so these are our 3 MCs. This is Cho, and that's Juliana, and that's Maybell. And then Jane and Anthony, or not Jane, oh my God, Daisy and Anthony are part of Juliana's like main story. Kate is part of Maybell's like main story. And then Ichi, Elaine, and Jane are part of Cho's main story.
I love
I
this.
have
Nice.
bookmarks featuring most of these guys. I have stickers, and
awesome.
I got smaller posters that are going to be coming soon for the Barnes & Noble book launch. When I did my launch, I did a party at a coffee shop.
Awesome.
That's a good idea.
Was fantastic, and I sold like 35 copies to all of the friends and family who showed up. No, it wasn't. It was 25, and then I sold 10 online to people who don't live near me.
But, did you have yourself like online while you were doing that, or was it no? Oh, that's awesome.
I have an online order form via my website for people to fill out for signed copies.
Gotcha.
That was where. Anyway, but I had a whole table of stickers, pens, bookmarks, tote bags, and mugs. And we went through all the tote bags, and I'm really excited about it because they were really cool.
That's can't have book lovers can never have enough tote bags.
Where did you get all this done?
It was expensive.
Yeah.
It was paid for by Vella.
Perfect. Yeah.
I got most of it on Vistaprint, using promos that they were having.
Gotcha.
And then
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I got all the stickers on either Sticker App or Sticker Brand, and they also run, like Sticker Brand was running 100 2.5-inch circle stickers for $29.
Oh yeah.
So I got so many
awesome.
stickers.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah,
well,
and
one other place, one other place I would suggest is Printify is a perfect place to get bulk orders and stuff. So I used to have an Etsy store. I kind of shut it down because it just became too much.
That's cute stuff.
But I loved it, and I love designing and stuff like that. But it just became too much for. I was doing that instead of writing, so I kind of shut it down. And but Printify is a great one. I still bulk order stuff through, so I still have my Printify account, and it's got beautiful stuff, and you can go through print on demand shops and see their reviews and pick and select which ones you like for all kinds of stuff.
I will have to check that out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of money to get all the merch for it, but I still have some. I just ordered more. And all of it was free.
Well, and people love that
stuff. Table of free merch, and then people buying books and eating food. And I definitely didn't make money.
That's such a good idea. But that's a good idea, though.
So you got people to get your
read
book and be heard, and then hopefully when book 2 comes out and other books, they're like, oh, I really like this. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, is getting somebody else to say, have you read this book?
Yep.
Because that's how I'm.
Have you heard of
I think that doing a release is smart, because what I end up doing, and it's not helping me, and that's why I'm talking about getting back on Vella, is because Vella, don't know why I said it so country like
Vella.
But,
I'm here for it, darling. Let's go.
Is on TikTok. The day it comes out, I mean, I send them out up until the release too. Like I send out videos of like all different things about the book. Yeah. But when it comes out, I'm just like, out now. Like, and that's it. Out now. If you want to go read it, you can go read it. So yeah, I mean, I feel like having a release party is super.
Yeah. Well, I'm also not on KU, so that's part of it. Is the out now is like everybody who's got a KU subscription can just go
But
start
Kindle
reading.
Unlimited is scary.
Yeah, it is. I don't want
It's
to do that.
scary.
I don't. I've
Explain.
heard
Why is it
too
scary?
many horror
I go
stories.
back and forth with it. Yeah, I go back and forth with it. And as a matter of fact, this was something I had mentioned last time, but we haven't talked. So, but I was searching my name for like Stacy Marriott, Dark Side, and when I put in Dark Side, PDF free read came up. And I know I don't search that, so that means somebody else, enough people, and not to be like, oh, people want to read my book.
No, girl, people want to read your book.
Like,
they're trying to steal it. It's bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so like when I saw that, I was like, my heart sunk. But when I went through it, there was like no sites for it. So thank God.
And
don't know. It could be tomorrow.
That's bad enough. But anybody listening who doesn't understand what that means, what Stacy just said is that someone's trying to pirate her book.
Yeah.
And that's bad enough by itself because you don't get paid.
Right.
The part that's scary is if Amazon finds out, they punish
They pull
you.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
You're the one.
They pull it.
Yeah. They don't send somebody to try to shut down the other site. They don't fine anybody the way Disney would. They tell the author, well, sucks for you. Your income's gone, which is insane, first of all. And second of all, yeah, I'm not doing KU.
Yeah, it's so scary.
Yeah.
And I feel like
that just happened to Raven Kennedy. Her whole book.
That was one of the horror stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she got them all back. I don't know for sure, but I think she did somehow. Probably because everybody loves her stuff, and they're like,
no, that's the thing. That's what's scary is like, and I'm not docking people that the indie authors that have a bigger name. I'm not. I think that that's fantastic. That's all our goal right here in this little room. All of us, well, in our separate rooms.
I'll always be the biggest cheerleader. Like, go.
Yeah, we're all trying
Live
to get to that point. But what's scary is when you're not. If something like that were to happen to me, I would just kind of be screwed. Because I don't have enough followers. I don't have enough people. Like I said, I'm so thankful for my readers, and I'm so thankful for the people that are following me on Amazon and that they actually like my work and pre-order my books, and I'm so thankful for that. But like until I have like, 1,000 people that are returning, it's going to be hard for people. Like if I were to put out a TikTok, okay, this is just an example. If I were to put out a TikTok that said, help me, my book has been pirated and it's a problem with Amazon, I need your help. Chances are I'm going to get like 3 views and 1 like.
Yeah.
As to where if you have 20,000 followers, they're going to push that. Enough people are going to like it that it's going to get pushed into the algorithm.
Well, unfortunately, the benefit of those other indie authors making that headway and becoming that well-known and influential is that changes are being made.
Yeah.
Right? What was it's fully escaping my brain now, but Amazon made a huge change just a few months back because so many indie authors were returns.
Yes.
Book returns.
Yeah, they stopped that.
And that was because a few really influential indie authors were like, hey, this is detrimental to all of us in our business.
Yeah, because people were reading books and then just
returning them. And then that money goes into our checking account and then right back out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
and that's the thing. Sorry. So thanks to social media, like everyone will be like, social media, all this and that. But one thing social media has really changed is indie authors. It's able to be seen, be heard. People are
so hard
for indie authors now.
Yeah.
Like it's huge. And I'm thankful.
I've been ragging on like how many readers I have, but I wouldn't have the readers that I have had it not been for social media.
Yeah.
And here's the thing I have to keep in mind too, is I've been writing for a while, but I haven't been writing well for a while. And everyone that can write well
gets better.
Yeah, everyone that writes well from the beginning and have been writing for 15 years, it's easy to see their hard work.
Nobody likes their first book.
Yeah. Exactly. So like it'll probably take 10 years from now for me to see progress. It's just like you get this idea though, I'm not gonna lie, where you're like, maybe I'll wake up tomorrow and
have 10,000 new followers. That last video I did definitely went viral. I'm gonna have 100 million notifications.
Yes.
You wake up
It's
and you're
like
like,
that TikTok
two people
sound.
saw it. One of them was my mom.
What is
Well-
it? Yes. What is that
Yeah.
TikTok sound where it's like, here's me posting, or every time I post, here's welcome to Delusional Author Talk, where every time I post a video of my book, I think it's gonna pop off. Like that.
Yeah.
But the truth is everyone sees the finished product and they don't see the hard work that goes into the finished product. So like people that I'm like,
I feel like
oh
we
well,
are starting to see it now, thanks to the videos and thanks to the writing community being so. That's one thing I love. The writing community on Instagram. It's very supportive and it's also it's very open and it's huge on being like, just do it. Don't be so in your head, because that's what we do. We spend a lot of time in our heads. So then we get a little bit like,
I have an inordinate amount of confidence. I'm not usually in my own.
yeah. No, and you're good. You are a really good writer too. Like what I've read. You
Listeners, I am blushing.
But I mean,
well, but both of you should own it too, because Stacey, you definitely
pot. Okay, pot.
Because
Black. Because
all three of us are fantastic.
I haven't really
complimenting me
anything yet. So
okay, but you have like 9 chapters, and I've read them all, and your writing is so beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate your words. I do.
Yeah.
They help.
You're trying to take a compliment.
I don't do that.
If you
Rolling
can't see it, her face is pained. Her just trying to
wrap it around you and roll in it for a sec.
I'm the same way. I have a hard time taking.
You're hot and you're good at writing. Roll in it.
Well, yeah. Thanks. No.
That's not rolling.
Yeah, she's so dismissive. She's
That's
like,
not rolling.
Oh.
Well, let's
think
talk
I
about you,
am.
Yeah. No.
It's
No. Like, it's hard for. I just feel like a lot of us, we do, and it is great. There are so many times where, like myself, like I'll send you a chapter and be like, right now I feel really great about it, you know, like I am on this. But then the more it sits there, the more we reread it, that's when that sits in. That's when you're like, was this as good as I originally thought?
You just have to close your eyes and put it out there, though. At some point, you have to close your eyes and just release it.
You gotta hold your breath and jump.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Because otherwise, you're just gonna hold on to it forever, and you're gonna be sad that you did. Because you're
literally the kid sitting on the edge of the diving board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
Yep. So but you are jumping. You jumped onto Vella.
Yeah. And I'm proud of you for that. I am so proud of you. And I can't wait till you start getting the recognition that you deserve. And it's going to make like such the difference, like come like next year. You're going to be so confident.
Going to skyrocket.
Yeah. 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 So
but I'm having fun with this. Like this to me, like if this is what hits, and because I just love, and maybe that's where I'm not so good at like doing it myself, you know.
If my ugly cabinet starts showing, you'll have
people. What?
I said if my ugly cabinets start showing, yell at me.
Oh no,
your ugly brown cabinets are showing. Okay, anyway.
No, your beautiful face. That's what I.
But so you're saying on Vella.
For me?
Yeah.
I was saying that I love supporting people. Like that's my like number one. Yeah. Like it makes me feel good and makes even me feel a little bit more of a boost or confidence by supporting people, being like, you do it, do the, you know, just jump, like we were saying.
Yeah.
And so,
but you have to jump with us. Well,
but
all
that's
the other fans.
like I gotta find
already jumped, but
my own advice. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now I'm starting to think about Vella more seriously because I just didn't know enough about it. Is the thing.
It's very difficult unless the information is given to you. It's really hard to find. I have 3 author friends. We call ourselves the Llama Ladies that I've made in the Springs, and they're all amazing. And none of them had heard of Vella, and they both made, or all 3 of them made, like triple digits for their first month, and we're very pleased.
Yeah.
I was like, "You're welcome."
That's awesome. That's huge.
Yeah, that's and I've been keeping Kindle Unlimited because of course I want to be fair to my readers too. Like I feel like I want them to have easy access to it. But it would be nice to have Vella and make some money, because most of my money is made off of Kindle Unlimited.
Well, and
That's why I'm so
right,
afraid to pull it off of there, is because like most of my money is on Pages Read.
There's no reason to pull it off.
Yeah.
You can't put anything that is already out there on Vella.
Oh no, I mean pull off of Kindle Unlimited.
No, I know. You can't put anything on Kindle Unlimited onto Vella anyway.
No, yeah.
So your readers won't lose anything. It's just a preemptive, hey, it's on Vella now if you want to read it before it drops.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I was
saying
be a fun little tidbit.
Right. I was talking about pulling it off of Kindle Unlimited of fear of pirating.
Oh, yes.
It's such a fine line, because most of my money made is on Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah. And
but it would be nice to have it on Vella first, make most of my money that way, and then just release it. So then you have the opportunity to not pay, $20 when it comes out. If you don't want to, you can just read it as it goes on there, and and people complain. I've seen the reviews where they're like, this book was $30 by the time I finished it. And I get that, but like, you're reading it over a period of time. Just dropping all that right off the bat. Yeah.
Yeah. You come into it. You have to come into it knowing that. It's how it works. It's a token system. They're making a game out of it.
And most people don't just read get to read the whole book as soon as it's out anyway. You have to read it as it goes along. So it feels like you would spend that on a book per month, per week, however long they come out anyway. If you're spending $5 a week, you'd buy a book for $5 from maybe like a secondhand. You wouldn't buy that from Barnes and Nobles.
Exactly.
It'd be like $11.99 for a book. Yeah. Paperback, not hardback. But yeah,
mine are more than that, but they are very chunky.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, I'm just talking like in general. Yeah. Yep. Dang, that is a thick boy.
It's a thick
boy. How many pages is
so
it?
Can you tell me, what is your book about?
Okay, 528.
Love it.
524. Yeah.
I love it. I love a thick book.
Yes.
Right? And I was worried that it was so thick. But actually, a couple of my reviews from the book tour last week were like, don't be daunted. It's a quick read. And I was like,
yes, that's good. That's
cool. Oh, and then it's got really pretty stuff in it. Because I'm like that.
Ooh, is that a map? Is that a map?
It's triplicate maps, lady. It's 3 maps.
Love it. 3
maps. Yeah. And then one of them is a battlefield, because I was like, I don't know if this is...
That's a good idea, actually.
It's tricky to do and I think I described it well in the scene. It's a really fun scene. This woman can teleport. So the battlefield chapter is broken up with chapter breaks of her just like jumping and
love it.
That's cool. Yeah.
That gives me X-Men vibes. I'm here for it.
And it gives it more action too. That's really cool.
Hunger Games and X-Men is the vibe for sure. And then here's a list of the caste system. Well, that's
cool.
Larry.
Yeah.
With
I like the way it looks.
Really cool. The same guy who did some of the character art, not that poster. His name is, he goes by Ham Stark on Instagram. If anybody wants to get character art from him. But he designed all of these and did so good. And then they all have all the chapter headers have artwork, and it all ties into, shoot, I find that too. I'm just giving away all the secrets, but that's okay.
No, but that's
this image. This is all the chapter headers.
That is so cool.
That's awesome.
I love that. And I feel like that's a good thing, though, to show people the stuff that's included in your book. It shows how much detail you pay attention to.
Right.
You know, I feel like it shows.
People love collecting pretty things, and that is part of it. They love maps. Like, I'm a sucker for a map. I could not read a synopsis, and it'll have a map and be like, I'm here. Okay, my book.
fully invested. Yeah. That was part of the reason I did self-publishing instead of trying to find a traditional publisher, is because I was like, I know how I want it to look.
Yeah.
And then the chapter breaks are really cute too. They're not like a ... there. Can you see that? There we go.
I like that.
Yep.
Well, then that leads me to another question. Here I am, this is supposed to be viewers, and I'm doing it for myself.
Ask me all the questions.
Every question you have, someone else is going to have that question.
Okay, so I think you pronounce it Acatus. If you don't, that's okay. If that's not how you pronounce it, whatever. But it's for programming, your book to make it look prettier.
Oh, Atticus.
And
Yeah,
yes,
what I
that's
use.
it. And I have, that's what you
Atticus
use.
Finch.
Okay, so you use it, and I am still learning.
It
I
was
noticed that sometimes when you take it from Word and put it on there, it moves all your slanted words to unslanted. That was something that I had to go through and fix.
I think they debugged that
So
because
maybe.
it didn't do that to me any of the times that I uploaded anything. And I have a few uploaded
Do you
now.
use Word?
I do use Word.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder why it did that to me.
Well, how long ago was it? Because there were.
Today.
It was today?
No.
Yeah, I'm going back through and having to reslant everything.
Did you import it or did you copy paste?
I imported. Because they tell you not to copy paste.
They do tell you not to copy paste, and there's a reason for that, but that's so weird. Okay, well, I'll have to go look at what I imported today and see if it did it too.
Yeah. Let me know if there's a way. We could talk on Instagram, but let me know if there's a way to fix that, because that would be beautiful.
They are so helpful.
Oh yeah, I love the
to their support. Yeah, their support team is great. And yeah, so doing all the formatting was a learning curve on there. There's not a button for everything you want to do.
Yeah.
But there's usually a way to do it anyway.
But it's good to know that that's what you use, because I felt like when I looked at that, I was like, wow, that's really nice. Maybe I should use something different, because I'm still learning. So it's probably because this is only the second book I've done through them, and it's not finished. The disappeared one was the one with the chapter missing. But that's probably just because you can accidentally hit delete, because they have like where you can arrange the chapters, and they have like a little dot thing there. And
yeah, if you hit that X, it's gone. And then the other chapters move up and you don't know.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So
cool. It is about.
Yes, it's about.
I got off track.
I'm sorry, I have ADD, so I'm like all kind of over the place.
If we all don't have some sort of neurodivergency, then we're not good writers. He's going to quote me on that in the future, and I'm going to sound like an a-hole. No. Okay, I'm just going to read you the blurb if that's okay. Because I don't have an elevator pitch yet.
No, that's okay.
A secret rebellion rages. Generations ago, a plague ravaged the world. Gray stars rose from the ruins, formed the country of Pangea, and created a society of peace and order. The caste system maintains this peace, and the gray stars maintain the castes. Now the lower castes fight against their subjugation. A small portion of the population begins to discover rare abilities, supernatural powers that aid in the battle for equality and justice. But the gray stars won't let go of their supremacy without a fight. A gray star turns traitor, serving as a rebel captain and using her alter ability to get revenge against her own people for the atrocities they've committed. Despite her skill as a soldier and her power as an alter, desperation grows. What will it take to turn the tide? Her efforts never seem like enough, and war demands sacrifice. A young woman goes through the coding and is plunged to the lowest caste of society. While navigating a world entirely new to her, she discovers the reality of Pangea is not what she was taught. Finding a family and finding herself, she realizes just how far she will go to keep her new friends safe. A runaway is cursed by his own gift, drowning in a sea of emotion. When hope is lost, can he be the leader his brother always thought he was, or will he succumb to his grief and lose his way?
That sounds really good. We should start it with that. If there's a way to take that piece and start it at the beginning, so everyone knows like what the book looks like to start with, and then
end it with this.
But it would be cool, right? Like to just open up with her reading the book.
I'm so down. That would be cool. Yeah. So a gray star turns traitor is Maybelle. A young woman goes through the coding as Juliana, and then a runaway cursed by his own gift is Cho.
I love that.
And Maybelle's story is set
so interesting.
70 years in the past.
One of the important things is writing a good blurb or a good synopsis.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'm the only one as a writer, but I could write 50,000 words and not think twice about it in a short amount of time. And then when I have to sit down and think about the synopsis, I'm getting better at it. But it's like, I just want to say it's about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
it's really hard. I went through probably a dozen different drafts. I sent it to my mommy and my sister and my dad and also my D&D group who were very helpful. I originally had, because one of the like quotes that they use in the book is there is no order without peace. Oh no, there's no peace without order. There's no order without caste. Yeah. And I had that in place of A Secret Rebellion Rages. And one of my D&D guys was like, hey, that sounds a lot like Star Wars. I was like, yeah, no, gotta take that out. But yeah, it's kind of a mix.
Awesome. That was perfect.
Yeah, it sounds
Thank you. It took a lot of work, but I'm really happy with how it came out for sure.
I can't wait.
You should be, because that was good. Well, that's something I did too today on Bella. So I had a whole synopsis. So I feel like the part of that I'm okay at is when I first have the idea, I could write a synopsis, like no problem.
That's what most people recommend.
Yeah.
Well, and then what the problem is with this story, I had this perfect thing. And even if you go back when I'm like just introducing my characters, I always kind of played that synopsis into my videos that I created or whatever. Well, then I rewrote for pacing reasons. And now I'm like, it's a little not right. So I had to, when I published to Kindle Vella,
Yeah,
I was like, I need to come up with kind of a new way of writing this synopsis. So I went in and re-edited it today, and I think it's a lot better now.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Well,
that was hard.
The synopsis that I have out for Disappeared right now, the ending is kind of incorrect, but I decided to leave it because then it has a surprise.
Yeah. You're not,
because it's just how it literally she talks about finding a magical mirror and it's how it's found. So I feel like I would rather be surprised than know exactly how it's gonna happen.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't want to know everything
through
in
the
the
friend.
synopsis.
Yeah. So I was just like, but I know what you mean because I do it too. I write the story and then it ends up being a little bit different than the synopsis.
Yeah. Right.
So, but yeah.
Beautiful.
Do you have anything else that you wanted to throw out?
Yeah, tell us all the things.
Oh my goodness, all the things. Yeah, we could deep dive a little bit more into it. So I used Alter instead of Mutant because Mutant is a little bit used.
Yeah.
So they're alters because their DNA is altered.
Yeah, I like it. Good idea.
That's one of the great things about, like, I feel like our minds, like we were already saying how yes, our stories maybe have been used before, we've taken inspirations from stuff, but we change things. So like I have something that's kind of called like the underworld, but I call it the undergrave, and there's a whole system with that and stuff that I throw off of. So, but that's what's good. I love that, the different things that we kind of
tweaking and twisting and making it work for your story, for sure.
Right. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah. So I've got that. The gray stars have an ability that I won't spoil, but it's part of how they keep their influence. Oh my goodness. Cho and the group that he's with all have powers, and they're all very cool, and it was really fun to write them.
I love powers. That was such a fun read, and it's fun to read.
So do you read a lot of like comic books, and like do you love like Marvels and superheroes and like that stuff like that? Do you?
We are, as my husband would put it, we are a DC family.
Okay. Yeah.
My husband is super into Superman. He's Superman in my phone, and has been since we were 16.
Oh, I love it.
Hey.
Yeah, I was not really into superhero comics.
Okay.
I, of course, love the first iteration of the Marvel Universe. I'm not caught up with any of the new stuff. That's more time than anything else. And also, we don't have Disney Plus. But, I like superhero movies for sure. The powers were, anything with magic, right? And superpowers are kind of magic, unless it's Superman, in which case you're a little OP, let's be honest. I love him, but a little OP. But unless you're like, magic has a system. In most stories, it's a requirement.
Yeah.
The powers in this have a system. Yeah. It's not mutants who are able to just do whatever.
Well, that wouldn't be
they can do whatever.
But it has to have some kind of restriction.
It's a system. Yeah, they're Tamora Pierce. That's what I was gonna say. Tamora Pierce is where a lot of the superpower mechanics came from. Okay. Right. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but she wrote middle-age novels. Wonderful series. A whole bunch of them.
Check that out.
Yeah, that's so good. Hang on.
Okay.
I've been trying to find all of them. They're really hard to find because they're not in print anymore. But this is Circle of Magic. Oh, it's going to be weird. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And it's
Okay.
Sandry's.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was her name. Sandry's story. And she's got one that's set in, she's got a series that are all set in the same world. And they're very cool and they have magic. And she's got this one, and that has magic. And the magic is very, like, specific and has rules.
Right.
And you have to. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's
No,
where
I
a lot
like
of inspiration for
Yeah.
that came from.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And then
Well-
that with a, like, YA dystopia from our teenage years when that was so big.
Yeah.
With that sort of twist on it is what it is.
Yeah,
what
that's
the
cool.
story.
Perfect. That's awesome.
That's cool.
Well,
Well,
and-
everyone should have a book to be able to compare their book to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not that it's exactly the same, but like just to be like, well, if you like this book, then you might like this book.
Yeah.
That's
So
just
y'all, if you liked any of Tamora Pierce and also The Hunger Games, you will like my book.
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel like dystopian, that is also, I feel like that's coming back. You know how everything kind of has its big leap
Cyclical.
and then it goes
Yep.
away? I do feel like that's coming back. So it's perfect to write on that little jump and
Yes.
stuff.
It's been
I
Faye.
think it sounds amazing.
It's been
So,
Faye for a hot minute. And I remember when it was Faye before it was dystopian, which means vampires are next.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Vampires
Yeah.
and werewolves. I
Florida
remember
had a little comeback like last year. There was a little bit of a comeback.
that's
But
true. But like the full swing, everything is bloodsuckers. I
Right.
feel it coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like
And
it's
I'm here
gonna
for
be the really dark vampires, which I'm down because like when they were popular a few years ago, it was more like the romancy vampire.
Go
the,
ahead
Twilight?
and say it. Go ahead and say it. The glittery.
Twilight.
What you're... This is the skin
Yeah.
of a killer, Bella.
But it wasn't even just that
I'm
one
not
either.
even gonna lie. I literally seen that so many times when it was in theaters. I
Hey.
spent so much money on that when it
We
first.
were
Yeah.
all real into that series and looking
yeah.
at it now as
I was
grown-ups, we're
tricked.
like, ah.
To go watch it. My friend, I won't say her name because I don't know how she'll feel about it, but she kept trying to talk me into reading the series.
Mhm.
But she started it with this. He's a vampire, but he considers himself a vegetarian because he eats animal blood and not human. And I was like,
See,
girl,
that's not a good synopsis.
I don't know. So then she was like, kept trying to talk me into it. Well, then the trailer came out for the movie, and
And you're
I
like,
I
oh.
mistook it. I thought it was the Twilight Zone.
Oh.
And she let me think that. She let me think that because I was like, I'm gonna
So
go
that you would
see it
go
'cause
with
it
her.
sounds really cool. And we went, and then all of a sudden, they were talking about, I don't know how it came about, but Jacob had said something about wolves or something, and I looked at her and I said, "Is this that book?" And she started laughing so hard, and I was like, "Girl!" But then I went home and read all of them in like literally 3 days, so it was okay.
Yeah.
But
How could you
Yeah.
not?
not to go
Yeah.
off on that tangent, but
Twilight, Teen Wolf.
yeah, but I know what you mean. The darker kind of
Yes.
vampires, like
The,
the-
Well, because, like, True Blood kind of played off of that, or like the Sookie Stackhouse ones, which is
Yeah.
one of my. I love the books. I love the books. I love the show too. But they still kind of played off that, but with an adult version. Like they had
Yeah.
more real
Yeah.
bad vampires too, but then they had the ones who were trying to mainstream,
Yeah.
and the blood, or the synthetic blood and stuff. So they still kind of had that. Where I'm kind of thinking when they come back around this next time, it's gonna
Dracula-esque
Yes.
murder.
yeah.
yes, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
my favorite.
Did you watch the is it on Netflix? The newest
The new
Dracula show?
Yes, it was actually
I
good.
don't think I did.
It's
You got, girl,
shocking.
you love it. It's
Yeah.
a 3-parter. It needs
When did it come
paprika.
out?
Is like the one line my husband and I remember from the show is needs paprika. But
Yes.
it's so funny. And we use a lot of paprika. So
It's
It's a
was
really good
though.
show.
Yeah.
it
we
is
we watched it kind
disturbing.
of as not. Yeah.
It's bad guy vampire. It's
Okay.
not hot. It's not romance. It's gore and horror,
Gotcha.
which is
Okay.
not my vibe, but I
Yeah.
really liked it.
I know,
anyway.
I don't- that's the thing is I love vampires. I love supernatural. I don't like murder. That's
Like
not
the
my
show. 'cause
Wait,
we
how does that go
talk.
again? What kind of murder?
thing. Just rewind. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
But
No, but I love anything dark supernatural though. I
Yeah.
get into that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd be fine with that. I'd watch that.
yeah, it's
Or
good.
read it, whatever.
Right. It's,
Yeah,
yeah.
you should look up the show. I think it's just called Dracula.
Okay.
And I do believe it's on Netflix, and it was good.
Yeah. Okay.
They did the story properly, and then they did a twist on it, which was very cool.
Yeah. I'm all here for twists too.
Oh,
I did a reread of Dracula last year, and I did it my first time in audiobook. And I was like, this is a whole new twist because the way they did it, each person had their own voice.
oh wow, that's cool.
And I really loved that because you even got the deeper, because sometimes I get why some people don't like it because it's very old school written where it's in letter form and journal formation, you know?
Yeah.
But then when you hear the people kind of you feel the emotions a bit more.
Right.
And
Yes.
it took me to a whole
I like
nother.
that too. I like the different voices.
This is why I listen to D&D podcasts, is because all of the characters have their own voices.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
What
That
is the podcast?
Oh, just Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, okay.
I'm a D&D
Well,
nerd.
Dungeons
Yeah.
and Dragons. Well, here's the thing: is I'm a Dungeons and Dragons nerd. I even included it in Dark Side. You can attest to that because she talks about.
Yeah.
But I did not, for some reason, put that together with.
No, you're good.
Okay.
There's a podcast called NADPod, which is not another D&D podcast.
Okay.
You must check it out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Please start in the first campaign, the first episode, so
go.
I can talk to you about the first campaign because my
Okay,
neighbors
yeah.
are listening to it. They're listening to the most recent stuff, and I'm like, that's great, but I already listened to all the other stuff.
I think what I like about this podcast the most is like having you on here and like making a connection with you. I hope I off okay. But like, because sometimes I'm always worried about like, I don't know if it's because I've got something wrong with my brain or what, probably my mental illness. But like sometimes I feel like I'm not being
We all have something wrong.
like I'm saying something that sounds like it could be me.
I like you,
Like,
Stacey.
well,
we are friends now.
I always
See,
worry
me
like
too.
after I talk with my husband, like, did I sound mean or did that sound bad? Was that okay? Like my husband's like, that's chill.
People
But
say
I like,
that to me a lot.
yes, I
And
like making this connection
Yeah.
because I feel like on Bookstagram it is nice, but I feel like sometimes you get caught in a trap of like people just out for their likes, you know, like on their posts. So it's hard to make a connection, and I like having this opportunity to like sit down with you and like be able to talk with you and know like, hey, if I wanted to talk to her about something or ask her a question, like we are building like this little community. And I think it's great.
Absolutely.
Well, and that's kind of why we started this too, was because we wanted to build deeper connections with people and stuff too. Because it's one thing to like sit there and message people, and like I said, I'm a huge support system and huge cheerleader. But I get how that can be annoying too. So I do. You know, I'm always
You're
like,
not annoying. No.
Yes, you know.
You want to keep complimenting me so my head can look 1,000 times bigger than it already does right now.
Keep
go
going.
ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like this way we can like see that it's genuine. We can see that we want.
Well, that's one of the hard things is like getting people to know you as a person. Like on Bookstagram or on TikTok, it's hard to make, and that brings me back to like not feeling important enough.
It's
like
hard
sometimes
to
I'll
make
go
real
to record.
connections.
Yeah, it's like hard for me to record myself talking because I'll record it and I'll re-listen to myself and I'm like, nobody cares.
Oh,
like nobody cares about what you have to say. Like, why are you even uploading this on TikTok? So it's like kind of hard for me.
Here's the way to trick your brain.
Okay,
Stacey.
I'll take it.
Nobody cares, so why not put it out there?
Right, exactly. Just
nobody cares, then it doesn't hurt anything to put it on the internet. Then
that's true.
Right. And that's the vibe when that imposter syndrome hits me really hard.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
On the clock. It's really, it didn't start happening until I started actually writing and putting stuff out there, and now it happens. But each time it hits, I'm just like, okay.
And you're not expecting it sometimes when it hits you. It catches you totally left field, and you just feel bad all of a sudden, like instantly.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, this is what you want to do? This is comical. Like, you're kind of hilarious.
Thank you, brain.
Yeah, and I'm like figuring out, it was funny that you brought up about women's cycle too, because I'm figuring out that's a big thing. And then so the other week was full moon week, and I had talked to several people, and they
I'm
were
affected by the moon.
felt really crappy,
Yeah.
like that, and I was in a funk too. And then that night I find out it's a freaking full moon, no wonder.
So we've got the vampires of the group, and then I'm the werewolf of the group because I
Yeah.
was
Then you're charged.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm always affected by the moon. Like, I will know, like, and I don't know, this probably is going to make me sound crazy, but I don't care. This is just what it is.
It's been an
But,
hour
like,
and 40 minutes. We all already sound crazy.
Sometimes, yeah, true. Sometimes on a full moon, I will have so much energy. I will know that it's going to be a full moon because I will write so much, I will read so much, and I'll be like, I bet you it's going to be a full moon tonight. And I'm like, I wish I had this energy. Like, can it be a full moon more often?
You and me is the werewolves of the
Yeah,
group.
we're together. We're a pack.
And then Stevie over here is the vampire.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we've always known this, I think.
Yeah.
Look at that lipstick. How is she not a vampire?
No, I love the lipstick.
I meant that in a good way.
Yeah,
you never see vampires sporting crappy lipstick.
Yeah. Or like chapped lips, like
I'll take the vampire thing, but no, I do, and that's why I could always tell, because even like I used to work in a why can't I think of what it's called? Anyways, with the elderly, and I loved it, and it was great. But there would be people trying to like take clothes off or ending up on tables and like all that, and you knew it was a full moon.
Oh yeah, I used to work at the hospital, and I would get so much trauma that night for transport. I would transport so much trauma, and I would know. I'd be like, it's a full moon. It's got to be because it's crazy in the ER.
So whether it charges you or it drains you, you know, like something's off. And then like you're saying with the cycle, to me, I definitely feel it. For those first few days, I know it's coming up. And the first couple days, I'm like, nobody should talk to me because I'm the biggest downer in the world.
I had a hysterectomy, but I remember that. Like my cycles, I won't be too gross about it, with endometriosis would last forever. Like sometimes it was hard to get out of a funk because I would be in it for a month or 2 months, and
that's hard pass.
Yeah. So
that's real
I get what you guys are saying. I'm just not a part of the crew on that anymore. But
you're still a werewolf.
My brain just attacks me because
you still get imposter syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I still get like tomorrow.
I guess that's the whole what we're trying to say here. Everybody gets it at some point.
Yeah, and you just don't know when. I'm kind of freaking out about tomorrow because I feel like the ending of my book, like I'm always worried if the ending was good enough. And like the connection, like when you have the story come together, I don't put like all, not to make this about me. I keep saying that a lot, but I feel like I don't put all of the books, like I don't put all of my information in the first book. I kind of let it build up until the next book, and then more explanation comes. So I just feel like I hope everyone understands it enough to keep going. Because I read it so much that it makes sense to me, and it's been living in my head since last year.
The answers are not all in this thick boy.
Right. Yeah. And you don't want to give them all away because then, like, why keep making more?
That's part of it being a series is you're going to learn things as you go. No, that's, just to alleviate that concern.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
No, you always do a really
good will say, like,
end too, that makes people be like, what just happened? I have to read the next book.
I did have one, speaking of reviewers, I'll go with one of my good ones whom I cherish. She leaves the funniest reviews, and one of the things that she always talks about is my cliffhangers. She's always like, well, that one felt me like, or made me feel like I was dropping off 30 feet into a pool with no water, is what she said about Pan. She's like, so just so you know, that one's a doozy. And this one, it does have a cliffhanger, but I feel like I tried to kind of null it because I don't want to like them to be like, wow, her gig is just terrible cliffhangers like every. So I tried to, it's got a cliffhanger, but I try to make it not so dramatic as like Dark Side and Pan and.
Yeah.
And Enemy was kind of, it had a cliffhanger, but it was a little bit more tame. Like you were kind of like, what? But you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Hope and Lies, I would not call it a cliffhanger because you're not, there are characters in peril.
Right.
But they're not the main characters.
Right.
They will be of book 2 for parts of it. But I think it comes to a nice natural end of the curve.
But
And then the
leaving,
next story will start again with a new
Right.
curve.
yeah.
That being said, I do need to write the second book because there are a lot of unanswered questions and
Yeah.
there
that's
are
the other
characters
thing.
in peril.
What that I can ask you that question. How do you feel about when to write the second book? Like,
Um,
have you already started it,
Yeah,
or do you just
I'm 10,000 words deep and I have a 7-page detailed outline.
Okay. I was
Nice.
just wondering because some people will release. I've seen one person. I do not see this often, but one person released their series together. So like they
I
released
plan
one book
on-
and then a couple days later released the second book and then the next couple days released the third and the fourth.
If
I
I
could
had all
do
3
that.
of these done,
Yeah.
I would release them a month apart for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like you. I don't do that. Like I write them as I feel them. I feel
If
like if
I
I wrote them back.
Yeah, if I waited to finish this series, then it wouldn't be out for another year.
Right.
It is a 3-parter, and they're thick, chunky boys.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like too, and it was not this way for this author. They did a good job, but like for me, I feel like I feel like if I were to try to release the books together like that, I would get repetitive and it wouldn't get the ending and the thing that it deserved. Like I feel like if I rush it, I need to fill it as it
Well,
comes.
see, I don't write like that.
Yeah.
I
Everyone.
have a detailed outline.
Yeah.
So all of
We do
the
not
feeling,
outline. Me and Stevie just write it as
Like, we're
well,
total
the feeling it as it comes happens for like the 2 weeks leading up to starting to write.
Yeah.
And that's when I feel the entire book
Right.
and I pour most of it into the outline. The only thing left is dialogue and description.
Right.
And so, which makes writing it a lot faster for me.
Yeah.
Because I can slam through 1,000 words an hour easy when I've got a good enough outline.
Right.
Miss Bell's Travel Guides is going to be rapid released, likely a week apart.
Okay.
It's going to be way more than 4 books, but right now, my friend is doing the covers for the first 4. I've got 3 of them written.
nice.
One of them is written and done. That's the one that was previously published. The other 2 need work. They need to be edited and revised, but they're written.
Yeah.
And I plan
That's
on
half the
writing.
work. I mean, okay, editing is a lot.
No, writing
But
it
half
is
of it is
fully 60 to 75% of the work
exactly
for sure.
Yeah. So
unless you write like really messy, in which case then
God, yeah,
it's like half the work.
I usually, I mean, not to get off track, but I usually edit as I go.
Yeah.
Like I'm one that will go back and read it and be like, okay, yeah, I like that. And then once it's finished, I'll have my husband edit it and then I'll edit it again by myself just to make sure that I still like the flow and everything.
Yeah.
But
I do.
yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah, because you got to if you had it really messy, that would just
then it adds to your
take
workload
forever.
later.
Yeah.
I write so I'll write for the day and then the next day I read what I wrote the day before.
Right.
Part of that's just to keep the flow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
And it takes a lot less time to read it than it does to write it.
Have you ever accidentally wrote a totally different chapter and it kind of had the same sound? Like, what I mean is, I had written maybe a scene where she had jumped in the shower and then went to work, and then I read the next chapter and it was almost the same, and I was like, okay, girl, she can't keep taking a shower and get ready for work.
So
like,
clean.
You have to, yeah, like
so clean.
So yeah, like
I have a tendency.
Well, I think rereading it probably makes it better.
That helps.
Yeah.
I also straight up avoid those kinds of scenes.
Yeah, we were talking about that too. We don't really talk about them going to the bathroom too much or anything because I feel like it's implied, right? I mean, yeah. You're not gonna keep saying she went pee.
Yeah.
Like in my book, I have a bathing scene, but it's a sexual scene. You know, like,
that's totally different.
That
is
totally
count. Different. Yeah.
I have in Lacey Goes to Tokyo, which again is not available, but I'm talking about it now, so it's fine. Eventually it will be, and I have some really cool stuff planned for it. I'm gonna have passport bookmarks.
Oh, nice!
That sounds so exciting.
Each time they buy one of the books from me, that they can
be awesome.
Do different place. Anyway, oh my god, there's only one scene or there's two different scenes that show her getting ready. One of them is a very quick and efficient lacy bra, fancy outfit, knife and a holster on your thigh, like this is what it is. And then the only other scene where we actually see her preparing is Lacey is standing in front of a mirror looking at her body, and it's one of my favorite scenes I've ever written.
Yeah.
Her backstory is super traumatic. It's a very different series. It's set in the present, and it's again like spy action adventure. My words just fully left my brain. Oh, she's
in front of the mirror.
Yes, yeah, she's in front of the mirror and she's looking at the fat in her stomach and the curves and the her arms are bigger because she's gained muscle because she's been eating healthy for the last 4 years and training and is fit and powerful. And she's got scars, and she's got
meaning. Yeah.
And beyond the meaning, it was also for me, who I struggled with weight for a long time. It was a really cool moment of, I don't think it's often, and I could be wrong. I haven't read as much this last year as I want to. It's not super often that we see a female character look in the mirror talking about how much she loves her body.
Right.
And this woman works as an escort.
Yeah.
So she's got layers of trauma.
Right.
And
this one isn't out yet because I need it out. Like, can this be released anytime soon? Because it sounds so badass.
It does.
That's the thing, right? Is I got the rights back to it, and I have the rights for the cover, which is gorgeous. And so I told a friend of mine, I was like, yeah, I need to decide if I want to try to make the cover a wraparound, because I want physical copies. If I want to try to make the cover a wraparound myself, or if I should call the designer or email the cover designer and see if how much it would cost. And then my friend literally the next day had gone on Canva and made 4 covers for the first 4 books.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, we're doing those. Those are perfect.
Yeah.
So, I need to write them, but I'm working on the second book of Hope and Lies. Hopefully in a year. Hopefully in a year you can get all 4 of them within a month. That's the goal.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Goals to me are huge. So that's something that I know some people struggle with them because then you get overwhelmed and that kind of stuff. But for me, that was part of my struggle as well, was not setting goals. Because if I don't set goals, I will procrastinate.
Same. That's why I have pre-orders, and now I wish I. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to-do lists every day, and it's something as simple as work on book 2, work on Vela stuff, outline this part of the story. And it's literally that's the goals, that's the to-do list for the day. And then I have ones for hey, by the end of this month I want to have hit this and hit that and done this.
Yeah. That's where I'm getting. I kind of started that in the fall. I started doing that towards the end of August. I kind of was this will never happen if I don't start being sit down, write this stuff, have this done. So I've been very big on that.
To continue our analogy, you have to drive to the pool before you can jump into the deep end.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ladies, you two are amazing. And we're all best friends now.
You're amazing.
Need to know you.
Later in your time, but for some reason I feel like I'm way tireder. I'm gonna clock off here.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
Because I have to go read through a bunch of Vela.
It is about 10 o'clock. I am very talkative. I am sorry, and I get us off track.
No apologies. These were an amazing last 2 hours. I had a super awesome time. I'm honored to be on the podcast.
It's so nice to have people that are like-minded and see like-minded but different.
Yes.
That's cool.
Not an echo chamber. A backboard. Blackboard. A balance board? That's not right. When you talk to people and you're like, hey, we need to share ideas.
Yeah, you go back
bounce ideas off of each other.
Bouncing things.
Whatever that's called.
It's okay.
We write, we don't talk well. We write. At least I don't. Like, I always say really don't. And I'm like, okay, listen, I don't write like I speak, okay? Just,
Yeah.
But it's been fun, and I'm pretty sure my kids are actually still awake, and they go to bed at 8:30. So it probably should be time. I think my husband fell asleep.
and bless your husband's heart, because you guys are gonna edit this and it's 2 hours long. He's probably gonna be like, gosh, this
Like, why?
girl keeps asking a bunch of questions. But
that's why he's getting his rest now, so he can edit it for us tomorrow.
yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies. It was great to meet both of you. Stacey, please send me like the covers and links and stuff for your launch tomorrow so I can post it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
Coattails, lady. Coattails.
Yes, I know. Like, I was joking in the beginning, but for real, like writing on your coattails, because I seen like, not like being like, oh, I want to get what she has, because everybody has different readers. That's not what I mean at all.
I feel
Here
you,
I go again.
I feel you.
But anyways, I went to your page and was like, because I know you're like, well, it's just a like per chapter, but those, they add up. 300 followers on just reading? Insane.
It's nice.
Beautiful.
It feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also, I don't think we're friends on TikTok, so find me on TikTok too.
Yes.
Oh yeah, people listening. I'm at chlyn.author almost everywhere. If they don't allow a dot, it's either an underscore or just chlynauthor.
Yes.
It's annoying that they don't allow a dot.
Smart.
I'm still learning how to link things in videos and stuff. So when I figure it out, but I will put like it might not be linked in YouTube, but it will say where you can find all of us.
Okay. I'm also on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Beautiful. Have a lovely night, ladies.
You
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes.
Okay,